Hi again. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use Toontracks EZ Pro in Samplitude. I'm a huge fan of the Toontrack drum sample libraries. The first one I bought was called DFHS, and that was later augmented by the Custom and Vintage library. These are extremely high quality multi-sampled and multi-velocity drum sounds with their own playback engine. Anyway, I recently upgraded to version 2, which is called Superior Drummer, which is even better. Included on the DVD install disc is an extra program called EZ Pro. EZ Pro is a kind of Midi librarian and Midi file player and has some very advanced features to help you put together new beats from your Midi files. So the first thing I did was to fire it up in Samplitude, and this tutorial is to help you get up and running with EZ Pro and Superior Drummer. You can also use it with other VSTIs, including EZ Drummer plus the add-ons, also BFD, Battery, Drum Core, Addictive Drums and DigiDesign's Strike. So the information I give you will apply in similar fashion to these as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to track 1, left click on the insert slot, and open up EZ Player from the menu. I'll go for the simple audio and MIDI together on the same track option. Click OK, and there it is, EZ Player Pro. The first thing we need to do, which is very important and one of 3 vital steps to get this working in Samplitude, is to left click where it says plug in and select MIDI out. If you don't do that, it won't work. Next thing I'm going to do is select track 2, go to VSTI, Toontrack, Superior Drummer. Same again, select simple audio and MIDI together on the same track and click OK. So there we have the nice new shiny interface of Superior Drummer version 2. So to begin with, I'm going to open up Twisted Kit, which has some unusual percussive type drum sounds. There are now 2 more vital things we need to do in order to get this working. First thing is to left click where it says MIDI in and select VST MIDI out recording. This means that EZ Player will now send MIDI output to Superior Drummer. The next important thing to do is to enable monitoring on the Superior Drummer track. We don't need the recording buttons enabled at the moment, so I'll disable those. So now we should be able to hear the sound. So that's all working, so I'll close that for now. Here's a reminder of the settings again. Make sure you have MIDI out ticked on the EZ Pro. Make sure you have monitoring enabled on the Superior Drummer track or whatever module you happen to be using. And also on the same track, make sure you have VST MIDI out recording enabled. Providing you follow these steps, there shouldn't be a problem. The next thing I'm going to do is audition some sounds. So I'll click on the Twisted Kit here. Let's see what we've got here. We can audition the sounds by either right-clicking on the name or by clicking on the Preview Play button here. There are 3 variations for this groove, and you can also audition the individual kit pieces. They're the component parts. As you can see, sync is enabled, which means it syncs to the tempo of the host you're using. For instance, if I press play here and click on one of these variations, you can hear it's in tempo with the Samplitude click track. This means you can audition the sounds in context, which is very helpful. So now we can just drag and drop one of these MIDI files, which is the hi-hat one, onto the first track here. So we'll loop that one and press the track play button. So now we can go to something else and find some other sound. There's a snare here. I'm going to drag that onto the second track here. I can loop that section and hit play. I forgot to turn off audition, so they're both playing at once. That's better. I'll find one more part. Okay, so we'll go with the kick drum there, and we'll pull that down into the third MIDI track here. So let me just hide the browser here. So now we have 3 tracks with individual play buttons for each track. So now we can listen to one track at a time. And at the bottom we have one global play button. As you can see, tracks 1 and 2 are looping, but track 3 is not looped at the moment. Draw in a loop there and press master play. The great thing about this is that you can set loops of any length for each track and they all play back independently of each other. This means you can get some interesting variations just by changing the loop points. So with some experimentation you can come up with something quite different. So the next thing I want to do is set it up so the transport in Samplitude will control the playback in EZ Player. At the moment, when I hit playback in Samplitude, EZ Player doesn't respond. So EZ Player needs to be configured correctly. So what we need to do here is just below this volume knob, this is the volume knob. If we left click, there's another menu hidden here called Settings, and we can click Follow Host Play Stop. You will have to set this up on a per track basis, because at the moment there doesn't appear to be a global setting for Follow Host Play Stop. So now I'll press play in Samplitude. So now we can control EZ Player Pro from the Samplitude transport. Once you've compiled the groove within EZ Player, you can either just leave it in EZ Player and use it as a playback engine synced within Samplitude. Just like that. Another method is to bounce all the MIDI loops to one track by recording them into Samplitude. So I'll enable record in Samplitude. So there's another method you can use, which is to drag and drop the MIDI files directly into Samplitude. I'll quickly get rid of these and I'm going to load some more conventional drum sounds up to give you an idea. And also I'm going to change the drum kit, so I'll open up Drummer 2 and load up the Avatar kit. That should work. That's it. And there's some MIDI files here we can have a listen to. So I'll drag that first one onto the timeline. Drag that one next to it. So that's just an example of what you can do. So the next thing is to drag the MIDI files onto the timeline. Grab the first one. And the next one. And the last one. Oops, needs to be dragged to the right place. Make sure you disable EZ Player so you don't get double triggering. So now the Midi is triggering the drum sounds directly in Samplitude. So there you go, just a few pointers to get you up and running with EZ Player Pro in Samplitude. I hope that was useful, and until next time, goodbye for now.